Hello. Hi everyone. I guess I am clearly audible and visible to all of you. Am I? Can I get responses in the chat box? Am I clearly audible and visible to you guys? Okay, thank you for the responses. We are starting. Hello everyone. Hello everyone. Welcome to the DSA Hackathon, which is being hosted by Emancipation EduTech Private Limited. I am Radhashri and I am your host for today. I will be giving you an overview of the event. As you might be familiar by now, Emancipation EduTech Private Limited is a computer science training institute which is located in Ranchi, Jharkhand. Here at EEPL, we provide various training programs related to computer science and information technology from basic to advanced levels on numerous different aspects ranging from deep learning, IoT, etc. Now coming to the event for which I guess all of us are very excited today. First of all, we will be having a webinar session which will be conducted on the topic of DSA and its essence in the placement scenarios. Then this session will be held from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. and you will be addressed by Shubhi sir on the Zoom platform. Following this, by the end of the webinar, all of you will be attending an online quiz round, which is scheduled from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Kindly, all of you note that no separate link will be provided for the same, and it will be a continuation of the webinar that you guys will be attending. Okay, now on the completion of the test, the result for the same will be shortly published to you all through emails. Just a little housekeeping before we get started. If you have any questions or any queries during the presentation, please type them in the question box in your Zoom chat box. I will bring them up during the presentation and we will have a separate time for questionnaire at the end of it. Also, the selected candidates who qualify after this for the second round will be provided with a problem statement for which they will have to submit a solution by 27th June. Following this, the shortlisted candidates with the best solutions will be invited to present their solutions to the industry experts. Now, without any further ado, I will turn the time over to our presenter, that is Mr. Shubir Chakraborty.
Hello. Hello, good evening. Good evening, and thanks the Team Emancipation for organizing such a wonderful session for the same. And I think that we will have a very interesting and a very pleasant webinar on the topic. So without wasting the time, I think that we should move towards the topic. And before starting, I want to introduce myself in one or two lines. My name is Subir Chakraborty, and I am an IT trainer from past 17 years. And in this past 17 years, I have gained some experience related to this field. So this webinar is basically the exchange of these thoughts. It's not anything that I am telling you that you don't know. I know that you might know the things that I will deliver to you all. But the thing is that I want you to bridge that gap between the knowledge that you have and the experience that I got from the industry, from teaching you all. So I think that you all know the basic concept of DSA, what is DSA all about, what does DSA means, and what are the things that are deal with DSA. I think that my screen is visible to you all. My team, please reply in yes if it is visible.
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Yes, sir, it is.
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Okay, thank you. So, without wasting time, I think that I should start our session. The first thing what is DSA? And the second question, back to back, why to study DSA? If you search through the net, if you search through the internet, you will find that if you search something about IT education, you search something about computer training, something about jobs, I don't think that you will get much thing about DSA. You will find Python, you will find machine learning, you will find operating system, you will find Java, advanced Java, servlet, everything you will find, but you will not find anything much about DSA. And this was the reason why I have chosen this topic. We cannot forget this topic because this is the core of the computer science. We cannot forget this topic because this is the actual thing that we have to learn. If I don't know Python, if I don't know data science, it's not a problem because at any moment of time, I can learn it. But what about DSA? DSA is that thing that we have to continuously learn from our first semester of BTech to the implementation level. And therefore, I have chosen DSA. The second thing, why I have chosen this topic, that the DSA concept that we have studied, the same DSA concepts I am teaching to you all. That means that DSA is the thing which is not changed. It is continuously, there is some minor modifications, but the core is not changed. We have studied Fortran, but we don't teach Fortran. We teach nowadays Python, MATLAB. So there is a drastic change there, but there is no drastic change in the DSA part. So this is the basic phenomena of choosing this topic as a topic of concern. So the first thing that I actually want to explain you all, that what is the reason to learn DSA? What is the reason to learn DSA? Why to choose? So the first point that I have prepared for you all is that it is actually a tool to solve real world problems. Always, everywhere you will find that competitive programming is very important. Competitive programming is to do competitive programming. It's fine. It's fine. Competitive programming is good. You should do. But DSA is a solution to real world problem. Competitive programming is a solution to a hypothetical problem. Competitive programming makes you think better, fine, but cannot solve a real world problem. So the place where the DSA will fit is the real world problem. Is the real world problem solution, and a person who has a knowledge of DSA can only solve the real world problem. Not by learning a Python or any other language we can solve that. Second, is there anything related with DSA with machine learning? Definitely yes. Machine learning is also based on DSA because all these things are algorithms, and day by day we are creating more logically correct, more analytically correct algorithms that are using in computer science and their different applications. So machine learning is also an example of the same. So DSA has a very important role in machine learning algorithms, and keep in mind that learning those packages are fine, but without knowing the algorithm and its complexities and its various aspects, learning those algorithms will not help you out. It's just like that you have a weapon, but you cannot use that weapon because the knowledge of weapon is not with you. Okay. The third point that I have collected is that the most important point, that DSA is the most important part in the technical hiring process. I want to repeat this word, most important and the most neglected. We neglect data structure, we neglect algorithms, we think that it is a theoretical part, it will happen, chal jayega, aise padh ke chal jayega, but it's not that. If you take the test papers, if you take the test papers of various recruitment companies, big giant tech companies, you will find that they actually test for DSA. And not only that, the examinations like GATE, NET, they all go for DSA, because a student having the knowledge of DSA means that have the core knowledge of computer science. the root knowledge of computer science, the foundation knowledge of computer science. This is the reason why to learn DSA. Okay. The second thing that I want to share with you all is that you should not confuse DSA with competitive programming. Both are two different things. We can apply DSA in competitive programming, that's a separate thing. But competitive programming and DSA are two different things. So what I mean to say that if I want to have competitive programming, I don't have to actually go for DSA, but with the DSA knowledge, our competitive programming will nurture. So I have prepared few lines for that. That DSA, the depth knowledge will required through the computer science and not for programming. Understanding the difference, computer science is the theory and programming is the practical. Means the computer science, the DSA makes your base strong and programming makes your application strong. DSA, as I already informed, is a solution to a real world problem. And competitive programming is a virtual solution. It's actually a hypothetical solution because the problem is hypothetical. Therefore, the solution is also hypothetical. Now, let's move to the formal definition of DSA. What is a DSA? In simple term, data structure and algorithm. Data structure means the technique of organizing data in such a way that the data should be stored efficiently and effectively. Efficiently and effectively. Efficiently means not to waste the memory, and effectively means to have the correct time, the correct access time related to that data structure. Algorithm, on the other hand, is a set of procedure, step-by-step procedure that actually solves a problem. Say, I always use this word that it's not important to write a program. It's important to write a perfect program. It's not important to write a program that can execute and give you the correct answer. It may be giving you the correct answer. It may be that it is working fine, but the large system fails basically due to a fundamental error in programming. And that fundamental error can only be solved by the application of the knowledge of detailed analysis of an algorithm. So therefore, it is my suggestion that you should concentrate on learning the algorithm, learning the complexity of algorithm and working on that. Okay, next. So I have actually categorized the algorithm into different categories. So these categories are, the first category is a search. The second category is the sort. And when you will see your book or the curriculum, you will find the same, that the entire DSA syllabus is basically based on these categories only. Search, sort, insert, update, delete. These are the basic fundamental operations that are there in data structure. Okay, next. Some of the problems for which we have solutions that were basically developed using data structure. I have mentioned some of them, and I think that you have heard about all these problems like Tower of Hanoi, like Floyd-Warshall, like shortest path by Dijkstra, by project scheduling, Fibonacci series. These are the common problems, few common problems whose solutions are through data structure only. So you can think that what an important role of data structure is in the life of a computer science engineer. It is the fundamental thing, and therefore you have to have the idea of these algorithms. Next, what are the various characteristics of a data structure? See, there are three characteristics of data structure. First, the correctness. Of course, the correctness. Correctness means the data structure implementation should be correct. It should be correctly implemented so that when we want to get the data, we can go and get that data. The second and the third points are the points where we basically struggle. The second point is the time complexity. And we all know that for any algorithm, it is very difficult to actually calculate the running time execution of an algorithm. Because we all know that if a program is executed on two computers, it will take different time. And if the same program is executed on the same computer in different time, it will also take different time. That means there is no any set of formula by which we can calculate the time by which we can calculate the time required by the particular program. So this study says that don't calculate the time, calculate the time complexity. And the time complexity means the number of instructions get executed, and the number of instructions that gets executed need to be calculated in maximum term or in minimum term and in average term. And if I calculate all these three forms, then we can easily conclude that which algorithm is more usable and which algorithm is less usable. This space complexity, very important factor, because it may happen that my program is not so well as compared to the program of Animes, but it may happen that the program of Animes is taking a less amount of memory space as compared to my program, and that generally means that the popularity and the use of Animes program will be more than my program. So time and space are the two important factors which every computer science engineer, programmers and scientists, researcher, designer, whatever you can say, should concentrate accordingly. The first is the time part, second is the space part. Correctness I am ignoring because it is acceptable that a computer science engineer is designing a data structure which would be correct. It is taken for granted, means we as a technical person, we cannot design a wrong data structure. Therefore, I am ignoring the correctness. But these two things are the important things where we are actually ignoring. We are trying, but we are not able to do that. So from the first day, whenever you are working on a particular system, particular problem, concentrate on these two factors, time and the space. Next, the need of data structure. There are some few points that I have written. I don't want to read those points. I actually want to talk with you, or I actually want to share what I am thinking. The first thing is that, say, we all know that YouTube is a very big platform. And if I ask you that how many videos are there in YouTube, the answer that you don't know. I also don't know. But we can predict that it should be something around 100 crore, something around or 50 crore. And can you think that if that much amount of videos are there, is searching a single video line by line, when a user give a request, then can you think that YouTube will search the videos one by one, then what will be the time of finding a particular video? It will be almost infinite. Means we will put a search today and we will go back, and after we'll come when we will be old enough in a wheelchair, then we will find that acha, we got the answer. But YouTube does not work like this. YouTube takes microsecond to do that. What is this? This is the power of data structure. This is the power of data structure. This is the power of data search algorithms and techniques on which YouTube is working. So the first need is the data search. We search a lot of data. We always search, and if we don't have a fundamentally correct data structure algorithm for the searching, we will be nowhere. Second thing is that we all know that processor speed is very high. I agreed, but the amount of data that we are processing nowadays is too high as compared to the growth in the processor speed. If you find that what is the growth rate of the processor speed, and if you compare with the speed of the data that we are processing, processor speed growth rate is very low, very less as compared to the data processing capabilities that we are demanding. That can only be solved by the application of data structure. It cannot be solved by any other form. We have to develop a technique, we have to develop an algorithm, and that algorithm is the only solution to this problem, because we cannot develop a super fast processor every time, because developing a processor does not mean that लाए और हम लोग assemble कर दे और हो गया. There are other factors that we have to take into account before actually designing a processor. The next is multiple requests. This we know 100% that the amount of requests that we are actually providing nowadays is in a huge quantity. We are actually providing a request in huge quantity, and that quantity have to be managed. We cannot curtail that. We cannot cut those requests because the demand towards the system is very high. We have a high demand towards the system. So in order to deal with that demand, what we will need? We will need a technique by which that particular request can be handled properly. Okay. The next point is that what are the three things that we have to study? See, in data structure, algorithm, analysis, whatever you say, there are three fundamental topics that we have to study. First one is your worst case, second one is your average case, and the third one is your best case. One more thing I want to repeat, that the best case needed not to be focused more properly, because best is best. So rectifying the best, we will get slight benefit. But if we rectify the worst, if we make the worst towards the average, that's our achievement. So the designer, the algorithm designer have to calculate the worst case of an algorithm, the average case of an algorithm. Definitely, it may be possible that we can calculate the best case also, and try to minimize the worst case towards the average case. I think that you all know this topic, and I think that you all actually technically know that how we calculate the worst case and the best case and these cases. I think that you all know that what are the standard functions that you have studied: log n, 2 to the power n, and all this form. I know that you all know, so I am not repeating those topics, but I am definitely want to put your mind in this direction that you have to have an analysis of that. And for that we have prepared a notation. We not the computer scientists have prepared algorithm notations based on time complexity. So these notations are basically categorized in three categories. They are actually in 6 categories, but I am not defining the entire categories because our topic of concern is not to teach this topic, but have a brief review of this topic. So I have categorized it in 3 categories. The first one is big O notation, then the omega notation, then the theta notation. We all know that whenever I am talking about a big O notation, we basically measure the worst case time complexity, that is the longest time requirement of that algorithm for a particular job. Whenever we are talking about the big O notation, we are actually talking about the maximum time, and therefore you will find that in this place the graph is in this form, this gn, and this is basically written like this: fn is equal to order of gn. That means this gn is that particular function which is guiding the growth of this particular function. Okay, so this is our big O notation. In the same manner, we have a omega notation, and omega notation says a different thing. Omega notation says that we have to measure the best case time complexity so that to calculate the minimum time the algorithm actually take to calculate a particular result. And again, this thing is being explained with a figure, and what is that figure says that this, now the gn in the bottom and the fn is the higher. That means it will be in this form. So this is actually roughly, this is actually the omega notation. Next is our theta notation. Theta notation is all about the range of lower bound and upper bound, and therefore you will find that there are 2 gn and there is an fn in between, and this 2 gn actually guides the minimum time complexity of that algorithm with a maximum time complexity of that algorithm. Next, now some important algorithms that you should keep in your mind while you are studying DSA. Okay, the first algorithm is a sorting algorithm category. Sorting algorithm category, there is a merge sort, there is a quick sort, there is a bucket sort, heap sort, and a counting sort. I think that you have learned few other sorting algorithm also, like insertion sort, like bubble sort, like selection sort. I have ignored them because they are very basic and fundamental one. I've only included those sorting that are actually of real concern as per your interview, as per your placement is concerned. So my suggestion from my side, from my experience, if someone asks me what are the sorting algorithms that one should prepare, these are the 5 sorting algorithms that I have prepared that graduate student of computer science must know and must have a deep knowledge of that. The second category is our searching algorithm. In this searching algorithm, there is a binary search. Definitely there is a binary search. Very important one. Linear search is a basic one. You know it. If you don't know it, it's fine. It's not very, very important. This is your breadth first search and a depth first search algorithm for the graph. These two are the most important that you should have an idea and you should know of implementing this both in a recursive format and in a non-recursive format. I am repeating the same. These algorithms you should know to implement in the recursive format as well as in the non-recursive format. My second bucket of algorithms that I want to share is your hashing algorithm. Very, very, very important. This algorithm category, the hashing algorithm. The first is your MD5. This 5 means the generation and MD means message digest. These algorithms are basically used for encryption and decryption. If you have done any type of project, you must have used these algorithms, particularly in PHP and Java, to actually process passwords. If you have done any type of projects, there are functions, methods for MD5 which can encrypt and decrypt messages, particularly for the password. So this is a very popular hashing algorithm, and this is one of the favorite algorithm of my bucket that I want my student to learn. The second one is anti-LAN manager algorithm. It's a very good algorithm. This one, the LAN man algorithm, this is a Microsoft based algorithm and it is a LAN manager algorithm tool. This is my second algorithm that I want to suggest to you all. This again, SHA, this is also an hashing algorithm, and this SHA has certain values, like it has 224 to 256, 384. These are the number of bits that is being produced by these algorithms. So these algorithms actually produce after hashing, the output is in the form of bit, in the form of binary, and this is the binary code for this hashing algorithms. Next is our dynamic programming algorithm. And in this category, I have chosen an algorithm, and that algorithm is Floyd-Warshall and Bellman-Ford algorithm. These two algorithm is for dynamic programming algorithm. This algorithm I have chosen in my list because they are the most popular algorithm in the category dynamic programming algorithm. The next category of algorithm is our exponential by squaring. These are the few algorithms. I think that you must have learned some of them, and if you have not learned, please start preparing this algorithm. I have chosen this algorithm by various research. I have chosen this algorithm by various type of questions that I have got from various companies and various examinations, and I have shortlisted this all. These are modular inverse algorithm, linear congruent algorithm, Chinese remainder algorithm, and so on. Okay. The next category is your string matching and parsing algorithm. So here, two categories of algorithm you must know. And one more thing, this is string matching and string pattern programming. It's a very, very popular category of algorithm asked in maximum type of examinations I have gone through. See, nothing is being prepared by me. I have gone through all the question papers, all the examination papers, and from those set, I have shortlisted them. So I have found these two algorithms as a most efficient and mostly used and asked algorithm. Next is our primary testing algorithm. I have shortlisted two algorithms. Please take a screenshot of the same. Then is our graph theory algorithm. Dijkstra algorithm we have, Dijkstra algorithm for adjacent list we have, Bell-Medford we have, Lloyd-Warshall we have, Johnson algorithm we have, shortest path algorithm we have. These are the few set of algorithms that I think that my students should know this. The next is tree. These are the few important tree concepts that I have shortlisted, and these important tree concepts are very important for the examination that is being taken by lots of the big giant companies, including Google, Microsoft. From this, if you want me to shortlist further, so I will shortlist this one, a very basic and a very important algorithm, a B plus algorithm, a AVL height balance algorithm, and a binary heap. This 4 algorithm, if you want me to shortlist it again, I will definitely shortlist this again in this 4 categories. Next is the important tree-based problems that are being asked in various technical round questions. Okay, so I have started with a very easy one, that is your in-order traversal, post-order traversal, pre-order traversal, checking 2 binary trees whether they are identical or not, printing from bottom view of a binary tree, top view of a binary tree, converting the trees, finding their cousins, finding their leaf, finding the root, finding the distance, checking if the binary tree is sum tree or not, combination of words formed by replacing even numbers with corresponding alphabets, very important. This I found in most of the places. This category of programs were being asked in the technical interview round, that you have to form the words by replacing given numbers with the corresponding alphabet. This second one is also a very popular type of question that I have found, that determining whether a binary tree is a subtree of another binary tree or not. Finding the diameter, very important one. Finding the diameter of a binary tree. Checking the binary tree whether it is a symmetric or not. Very easy one and a very tricky one, and we can easily have the knowledge of this one. We can also convert a binary tree to its mirror image. We can also, since these two are the same question, if I can convert the binary tree into a mirror image, I can definitely compare that it is a symmetric or not. Okay, next. One second. Next is our hashing problems. Okay, nowadays this are favorite questions, hashing problem, and my suggestion is that heap and hash, I think that you should that heap and hash, this 2 part, I think that you should have to concentrate in this 2 part, a very important one. First, the category of questions that I have found in maximum places, that is the space complexity of hash table. Hash collision. What is hash collision? How to calculate the complexity of hash table? How to find the load factor of a hash table? What are the different techniques to handle the collision in hash table? How to choose between a hash table and a tight tree? This one is a prefix tree. How to have a lookup operation in a hash table? These are few questions that I have found in maximum places that I have gone through, and I actually want you to have a note on this and have a detailed note of this. Okay, next is, what are the heap problems? I have actually collected these questions so that my target is fulfilled. I am not here to teach you all now, because I know that 1 hour or 45 minutes teaching a data structure, I don't think it's a wise decision. If I want your attraction towards the subject, this is the perfect reason to be in this place. My target is that you have to shift your interest from all the other places and to have this particular place of your concern. So the priority queue, a very important part. a binary heap, very important part. Heap sort, I have already given you the list that it is my one of the favorite topic. Binary heap, again binary heap. Comparing the heaps with array, implementing them with a priority queue, having heap sort works, how to use a heap and a red black tree, how, what is heapify, heapification. Some places they use the word heapification. So what is heapify? What is the difference between a heap and a stack? What are the various heap sort algorithm, how to calculate the complexity of them, how to implement them using a priority queue, and so on. So these are the few heap related topics that I found interesting from my side, and therefore I have actually collected this all. Now, the thing of your interest that you actually want to know, that why the companies basically like us, our students, our majority, to learn data structure. See, we all know that there are two categories of, basically two categories of companies: a service-based company and a product-based company. And we all know that the maximum job that we are actually getting is from the service-based company, and there are limited number of product-based companies. And the pay scale that are being provided by a product-based company is at least 4 to 5 times more than a service-based company. If I am not wrong, it is more than that. I am giving you the lower side to be in the safe side. It is at least 4 to 5 times. So you can absolutely find that what is my point of concern here. And these product-based companies are based on data structure and algorithms. It is very easy to find a job as a data scientist, a very good job, but it is very difficult to have a job in Microsoft, Google, or this type of companies which actually works on product, and these products are basically based on data structure and algorithms. And this is the reason why I was choosing this topic, and I have actually informed you this in the initial part of my lecture, that we have chosen this topic because you can say the data also that less than 10% of the engineers are actually working in a software related job. It is not that I am working in a software company, that means that I am working on software. A software company have lots of other activities also. And a core software company and a core developing company, we have less than 10% job. And this less than 10% job is actually the paying job, the cream job. And that job is being actually acquired by a person having knowledge of DSA, not Python, DSA. Okay, next. Data structure. Why product-based companies place so much emphasis on data structure? A very important question and a very genuine question. Data structure and algorithm demonstrate the problem-solving capability of a candidate. Of course, if I cannot solve a problem, that means that I'm not fit for that particular organization, because all software companies, product-based companies, are basically a solution to a problem. You can search on your own also that they are building a product as a solution to a problem. So if I cannot develop my own problem-solving habit, I cannot fit myself in those companies. And that's the reason that computer company, a IT company, a product-based company, a software company basically chooses a candidate which have a very good, very sound knowledge of problem-solving capabilities, and that will come from the data structure. Questions based on data structure and algorithm can scale up the knowledge level. We all know that if you work on a problem-solving technology, our thinking capability, thinking ability, thinking capacity will increase definitely. So having a knowledge of data structure will make us more knowledgeable towards the problem solving. Data structure and algorithm can enhance our thinking and analytical skills, and is the fundamental of software development. And therefore, the most of the software companies basically concentrate on taking the candidates who have a sound knowledge of data structure and algorithm. The next thing that I have shortlisted I am using the word shortlisted because these all data is not being developed by me. Of course not. I have actually prepared a collection and conveyed those information to you all based on my experience. So I am conveying those things and they are actual reality. This is not that I'm writing in 19.4 on my own. These are the authentic data. The average salary of an employee who works on data structure is 19.4 lakhs. That definitely mean that whenever you see that a particular college has got a package of a student of 1 crore or 50 lakh or 80 lakh, in 99.9% cases, they are from the data structure. It's not from any other part. And mind it is the average. It is the average. Again, the range, you can see, the range is 15.5 lakhs to 50 lakhs. That means his lower side is also very good. That means the minimum salary that from the research from where I have got this data, the minimum salary that I got is 15.5 lakhs. It's the minimum salary that I got there. So you can easily think that what is the amount of money, what is the amount of effort that these companies actually provide on data structure. And therefore, you should also start thinking on that. You should also start thinking on this aspect of fitting yourself in a product-based company, fitting yourself in not an IT company which is doing nothing. It is actually working on data and data analysis, testing, and considering yourself that you are an IT professional. My definition, IT professional means working on a core company. Working on a core company, working on a company that actually works on the real problem solving. Next, what are the outcomes of DSA? Okay, I don't want you to read those. I don't want you to learn those. I actually want you to see once what are the outcomes. The first, the learning of fundamental data structure. Because see, Python, C++, Java, Android, Kotlin, this will come and go. C will be there, but this platform will come and go. But data structure will not go. As I have started my lecture with the word that the thing that I have studied in my time and the thing that I am teaching nowadays are 90% the same. But the language that I have studied in my time is completely different from the language that I am teaching now. So there is a 360-degree change in the language, but a 20% change in the DSA. So these are the fundamental data structure that I think that all the computer science graduate, computer science engineer, BCS also, MCS also should have an idea to be get adopted towards the product-based company. Fundamental abstract data types, maps, sets, vectors. These are things. Another thing is that abstract data types. Another thing that basic algorithm complexity. This is another very important outcome that we can expect from the knowledge of algorithm complexity. Okay, the ability to estimate the algorithm complexity is very important in both aspects, a recursive aspect and a non-recursive aspect. I am using this word again. See, every problem recursive solution is not good, and every problem non-recursive solution is not good. The problem solution is based on the problem. That means if my problem is recursive in nature, recursive solution is fine. But if my problem is non-recursive in nature, then the non-recursive solution is fine. So whenever you are designing an algorithm, you keep on a track, keep on a knowledge of designing a recursive algorithm as well as non-recursive algorithm. Your concentration should not switch to the recursive one only. ऐसा नहीं कि कोई बोला था कि नहीं recursive करते बहुत important है, बहुत जरूरी है. That's not. There are certain algorithms where non-recursive version is more useful than the recursive one. It's depend upon the nature. Next thing that I have collected is the top companies that actually recruit the DSA persons. And you can see that I have not left any company whose name is not popular. I have used every name because every big company, every giant company actually goes for data structure because they have no any solution. They have to go with data structure. How can a Google avoid data structure? How can ISRO avoid data structure? How can NASA, Facebook, Instagram avoid data structure? If they avoid data structure, their product is gone. They were nowhere. They can compensate in any other format, but they cannot compensate on the data structure format. Okay. See, this is the last line that actually I want you to take away from my webinar. That if you are targeting a product-based company and if you are ignoring DSA, sorry to say that your target is wrong. If you are targeting a product-based company, you have to keep in your mind that the tool that you will require to achieve that target is first DSA, second DSA, and third DSA. Means all the three targets are DSA. And whenever I say DSA, I don't say only data structure. I say data structure, algorithm, complexity, analysis, designing, analysis, everything about a algorithm and its data structure. Okay. So by this, I want to conclude myself. Thanks all the participants of this webinar for listening me and the giveaway that I want to give you from this platform is that please concentrate on the fundamental part, and the fundamental part is the DSA part. I want to thank all the team emancipation without whom this particular webinar, this particular event will not be successful. Thanks and have a wonderful day. Thanks.
Thank you, Subir sir, for such a great presentation. And I really believe that actually covering so much important topics in such a brief time is really one of a kind. And sir, your experience really speaks a lot. And I guess that it will really help all of the participants here in their future or according to their plan. And as sir rightly mentioned, the thing that DSA is the most important for the IT sector and yet the most neglected one. And definitely sir mentioned why, how, where, why. Every sir mentioned actually every question why we need DSA and why it is so important. And I hardly believe that sir actually left any point regarding DSA. And as sir rightly mentioned that correct code is not that important compared to the perfect code. So definitely we learned a lot regarding these things. And like my previous fellow anchor already mentioned that we are going to have a quiz regarding DSA right from 8 onwards, from actually 8 to 9. So I guess you guys are really excited for it, right? To check yourself or to compete, whatever you say. I guess it will be really exciting and it will be really great. Like if you write a yes in the chat box, like we will really believe that you are here present, actively and actually enjoying the thing what it is going on. And yeah, definitely I would really like to mention that the next quiz will be taking place in the same link and you won't have to switch the links further. And you will be given with the most awaiting one that we always wait, the results, how my result will be. The result will be published to you soon after you give your exam, right, to your verified email. And there will be a few selected candidates and they will be given some problem statement. And according to the problem statement, you have to give your solution, right, up to 27th of June. That is, I guess, tomorrow. I guess there is no further question, or if you are having still some queries, you are really requested to post that in the chat box. And last but not the least, I would really like to thank Subir sir, Anshu sir, Ranjan sir, Buddha sir, my fellow mates, Animesh, Devanshi, Radhashri, and each and everyone. You guys have been the pillars of this webinar or of all this talk show. Like this was really great, and definitely I won't forget the participants that have participated here. Like this whole system is possible because we all indulged into this. We all got indulged, and we all had the same target to make it successful. I really thank all of you all.
Devasis, sorry to disturb you.
Yes, sir.
There are three questions that I think that I should answer. The first question is being asked by Neha, that which part of the data structure we should concentrate. So there are basically two important parts of data structure. First is the designing part and the second is the analysis part. These are the two important parts and we have to concentrate in both the part. We cannot ignore means any part, because if I am not a very good designer, then I cannot analyze also, and if I am not able to analyze, I cannot design also. So these two part I cannot choose one from this. So definitely the analysis part and the design part. The second part, the question is that the webinar and the quiz, as Devasis is saying, is in the same platform. That means that the live one that you have connected, in that live only, there is a place of quiz that will get activated shortly. I think that within few seconds, and you will start giving the answer to them. The third question that I found is that that what language we use for DSA. It's up to you. It's not any answer to this question, but if you ask from my side, my favorite language for DSA is C or C++. If I ask from my side, but it's not that you should go for C, C++. We can go for Java, we can go for Python, anything we can go. But if you want from my side, my answer is definitely C, C++ because of its fundamental nature. Okay. One more thing is that what is the criteria for the second round? So once you give you the test, based on the marking of the test, we have not finalized the cutoff. So based on the marking of your test, you will be given the problem statement. And we cannot say right now, because we cannot know that what are the marks that we are actually getting. So we cannot say the criteria for that, but we will select the top candidates based on the results. And can we go for a Python? I have just got a question. Definitely we can go for Python. 100% we can go for a Python. And it's very good that you are asking. It's a very good means asking in a webinar makes the webinar more interesting and more applicable. So you can go for Python, no problem. But my suggestion, C, C++ from my side. Okay. Okay, Devasis, continue.
Thank you,
Sir,
sir.
I guess there is one more question. I guess
Yes.
there is one more question. Sorry to interrupt you. So Arnav Goel is asking approximately in how much time we can complete the DSA.
Acha, DSA, how much time you will require to complete a DSA? See, it varies to student, candidate to candidate. But if you ask me an average time that should require to complete a DSA in a proper manner, it's definitely 6 months. Definitely 6 months, not less than 6 months. 100% 6 months. So I think that you should go. Keep in mind that 6 months is your target, not below than 6 months. And if you find that you are taking more than 6 months, don't be afraid. It's a positive sign. It's a positive sign. Because if you are taking some time to learn something, that means that you are learning. And if you are not taking time, that means that you are actually not learning. You are completing the syllabus. And DSA does not mean completing the syllabus. It does not mean tree kar liye, graph kar liye, hash kar liye, ho gaya. That's not that. It means that you have to actually complete that. Actually complete that, not for exam, for yourself. Okay. So minimum 6 months, average 9 months. I think that no more questions are there, and the exam time is already started. So Devasis, we can conclude.
So thank you, everyone. And I really wish you all the best. Just give your best and just do your best. I hope the best one will be selected and the most deserving one will be selected. So I hope you all are excited and head on for the exam. Best of all.
Best of luck from my team also,
and best of luck from each and every one from Team Emancipation. We really believe that you will do your best.
And we hope that we will get a good lot of students for the second and eventually the third round. Hope to see you all in the second and third round. Thanks.